Afternoon, people. I'm looking probably a lot happier than the last time you saw me. I realised that my previous video I was so morbid, and it's safe to say that I'm feeling much better. So in terms of physical health and just general mental health as well. Look what Tinkerbell's doing. What? She literally gets so jealous if I'm talking to my camera. She hates it. I'm still off work at the moment because I've had a sick note, but I'll explain that in a little while. Just about to have some food. It's around, I think it's like 3 o'clock, so I've not actually had any lunch yet. I've just been getting some work done at home, tidied the whole house up as well, so I'm feeling productive AF right now. Yeah, I'm gonna eat that and then I'm gonna have a bit of a sit down chat with you and obviously discuss what's in the title of this video. So if you like these kind of videos, if you want to see more of me, more of Tinkerbell, then keep watching, and I will see you in the next clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate anyone that is watching these videos and comments. I really appreciate that. But anyway, I'm going to get going before she literally bites my hand off. She's not really, she's so harmless. And I'm also going to go and have some lunch. So I will show you what I have. I'm having probably not the most like exciting meal that you've ever seen, but I'm having a salmon salad with, so I've got some salad leaves there, and if you're from the UK it's this low fat balsamic dressing. It's actually really nice, so I like it. If anyone's got any tips on how to make your own salad dressing, hit me up in the comments because a girl would like to know. Yeah, I'm having salmon fillet with salad dressing and some hummus on the top, if you're wondering what that is. So yeah, I'm just going to eat this now. Okay, so I've just had lunch, a very late lunch. So I had the salmon and the salad, which was very nice. But I want to talk about extreme hunger in eating disorder recovery, because I think it's such a big topic that I think if you are going through or you've been through and you had no idea what it was, it's such a confusing time. Like, I remember when I was going through it and I didn't know what it was at the time because there was nothing out there about it. So just a little disclaimer also, I'm not a licensed eating disorder recovery coach or anything like that. I would love to get the qualification for, but I'm just personally sharing my own experience with extreme hunger. Those that are maybe going through it themselves, hopefully me shedding some light on the subject might help you actually when you're going through this yourself. So if you're not quite sure what extreme hunger is, or you've heard of it but you're not quite sure what it is, it's basically used within the eating disorder recovery community for somebody that is recovering from usually a very restrictive diet or a restrictive eating disorder, for example anorexia or something of that nature. It's a period of time where, after severe restriction around food, so being on a very restrictive diet or anorexia or something like that, it's when your body starts to almost fight back. That's how I would describe it. And obviously during recovery you are going through a period where you're thinking about food a lot because you're restricting yourself so much. Your body is telling you that it needs food, but you know, you're obviously trying to quiet that voice down and restrict even more and ignore those voices. But it's almost like after a certain period of time, it's like your body doesn't care and it almost will make you do anything, give you the signs to find food and make you get as much food as physically possible. So it's during this time, whether or not you're choosing to recover or not. For me, I didn't actually choose to recover. I just started to notice these times where I would just start binge eating very uncontrollably. And I remember, and this is how weird it is, I remember my first binge was on muesli. I was house sitting for somebody and I was alone in the house, and I just started to pick at this muesli, and I suddenly started eating a lot of food in a short period of time. And that was my first experience with extreme hunger. I had no idea what it was. I thought I just lost control, but I'm not being funny. Who's binging on muesli? Like, why would you binge on muesli? It's gross. So I was going through this process, and after that binge, I obviously told myself, oh my god, what are you playing at? Like, that's why you need to restrict, because you can't control yourself around food. When actually I didn't realise that it was actually my body screaming out for food and telling me to eat a large amount of food. So if you've experienced extreme hunger yourself, or have been through it, or you're going through it at the moment, you'll kind of understand that it's almost like you feel like you're a bottomless pit almost when it comes to food. You maybe eat something, and whether or not you eat it consciously or binge eat, it's almost like you feel like you can't ever get full. That's definitely what I experienced for a very, very long time. It's like I could not finish a meal and be done with that meal. Like, it would almost just trigger the cycle, and that I'd have to keep on eating and eating. And that's basically what extreme hunger feels like. It feels like you just can't stop eating. And this is where the danger can be sometimes with somebody who is recovering from anorexia or an eating disorder, because obviously you don't trust yourself around food because you think you're going to continue to overeat, and hence that's why you put the restriction on in the first place. So that's what I was finding about myself. It was almost like I was proving to myself that I could not be trusted around food. And it's like, well, you have to restrict. Like, if you don't restrict, you're just going to eat your way into oblivion, and you're never going to stop. And it's a really confusing time because, like I said before, I didn't know what I was going through. I just thought I couldn't be trusted, and that I had no willpower. And I was almost like questioning myself. I was like, why have I had so much willpower up until this point, and now suddenly I've got none whatsoever? It's your body's way of trying to gain back its normality. It's your body's way of trying to get you back to recovery and homeostasis, basically, where your body is healthy. Now, it doesn't mean to say that if you've not lost your period that, you're healthy, or, you shouldn't be recovering. But I know during my time, I didn't have a regular period for a large amount of years, and I almost felt like I could brag about it, like it was something to be proud of. When looking back on it now, it was actually such a big sign that my body was in no way healthy at all. And there's no wonder that I was thinking about food so much. And going back to extreme hunger, I remember it's just, food just seems to dominate your mind so much. Like, I would go shopping sometimes and just try and, I'd almost just be looking at the food and thinking, oh, I wish I could buy that. And then one day when I couldn't stand the urges anymore, I would just buy loads of food and just eat it very, very quickly, and just feel physically sick and just feel so ashamed of myself because I just eaten so much food. And I remember just feeling like, questioning myself, is this ever going to stop? Like, what is this? This isn't normal in any way, shape or form. But I just want to put it out there that if you are going through this at the moment, the worst thing you could do is try to restrict. I reckon my recovery would have been over a lot quicker if I'd have just owned the fact that I was experiencing extreme hunger and honoured it and chose to eat out and chose to eat in front of people. But because I was almost like, I hated what was happening, so I was trying to fight it off as much as I could and trying to restrict. This is when my period of bulimia started, actually, when I would obviously try to fight off these urges to eat large amounts of food, feel sick, so I would go and exercise it off or try to exercise as much as I could off. And that was a horrendous, horrible cycle that I was in, because one, it was very time consuming, two, it was a lot on my body, and I had no free time. Like, my free time was took up by exercising, and it was a nightmare. Whereas if I think I would have now, if I knew what was happening and it was my body trying to get me back to normal, I think I would have recovered a lot quicker and with a lot less sort of weight fluctuations, because it was almost like my body was trying so hard to get me back to normal, and I was just fighting and just thinking, no, I'm not just eating, I need to exercise, I need to restrict as much as I can. As if I'd have just honoured my hunger and eaten until full satiety. It's like every time I was eating, it was filled with feelings of guilt and shame. I never enjoyed the food that I was eating, even if it was something that I never got to have. It's like I was just in denial, and I was feeling so guilty about eating whatever I was eating at the time, and I didn't just sit and enjoy it. And it's a shame, really, because at that time I thought I was enormous in my head, and I was just like, I was so not. Like, all I needed was food, and it was my body's way of trying to get me back to normal. So if you are going through this at the moment, just know that it's a normal process. You have starved your body for probably a good length of time, and if your body allowed you to carry on doing that, you would die. Like, to put it bluntly, your body has these coping mechanisms in there to stop you from dying and stop you from starving to death. So if without your body having these kind of primal drives to find a lot of food and to eat a large amount of food, you would eventually die. So it's your body's way of trying to get you back to good health. We need food to survive. Without food, we would die. So don't think it's you and that it's personal and that it's, you're the problem and that you've got no willpower. That's what made this process for me so depressing, because I was fighting it on my own. I told no one about it, and my parents didn't even know what I was going through, and I'm really sad that I didn't tell anybody, because it was such a difficult time. And I think if I'd have told people, it would have made more sense. I would have understood a lot more as to why my body's doing what it's doing. And also, I could have enjoyed my food a lot more and got back to recovery and got back to a weight that was stable, instead of just constantly restrict, binge, and just constantly fighting my weight, which is definitely not healthy for your body at all. If you are going through this, definitely seek help as much as you can. Also watch recovery YouTube videos, because I think there's so many out there at the moment, and it makes you feel like you're not going through it alone. But as well as that, like, try to understand that you're not the problem. Your body is not the problem, and you don't need to hide who you really are. You don't need to suppress your appetite. your body is trying so hard to get you to live and get you back to being a healthy body. And that's amazing. That's amazing that our bodies do that for us, because it's trying to keep you alive. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear at the moment, but understand that this is just a period of time. Your body's having to go through this because it's been starved to death. Allow the food to come in. Obviously get help first, but my advice for anyone who's going through it at the moment, and what I wish that I'd have done, is obviously understand it. And luckily at the moment that there's a lot of information out there that it's a legit thing. It's not fake. It's not about you not having willpower. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with your self-worth at all. You need to eat to recover, and that is the only way, without eating unrestrictedly. And that's, you know, I know there's quite a lot of doctors out there that are giving, you know, recovery patients like a 2,000 calorie meal plan. Yeah, that's a good amount of food for a normal person. However, your body's been starved, so 2,000 calories is probably too little. I know when I was in my extreme hunger, I was easily eating 3,000 calorie plus, like loads of food, and it never seemed to feel enough. So the easiest thing to do is to give yourself unconditional permission to eat as much as you possibly need. And that is scary as shit to somebody who's an anorexic, to somebody who is currently binge eating or feels like they have an appetite the size of the earth. It's fucking scary, because you're like, how the hell am I ever gonna stop eating? You're scared that you're gonna eat your way into oblivion. And I totally get that. But if there's anything you can take from this video, understand that if I can do it, any fucker can. Honestly, I thought at one point I was never gonna stop eating. And I can safely say, yes, it's taken me a good while, but if I'd have allowed myself to eat quicker and given myself unconditional permission, I would have recovered a hell of a lot quicker than I did. Your body needs the food. The quicker you can eat and the more you can eat, the quicker you're going to recover. Recovered. And it's not been a straight, easy road, because like I said, I was in denial for a very long time. I didn't realise that eating is what I needed to do to recover. I didn't even think I had a problem, which is the standard, you know. Not many people do. But I am fully recovered. I can eat a meal and I'm not thinking about food now. I'm not thinking, oh God, when am I going to next binge, or when am I going to next eat? You need to eat to recover. And I know that's scary as hell, but take it from somebody that's recovered and been through this. I know it's horrible, it's dark times, it's horrendous. Try to get yourself some help first. Get some support around you. That's what you need during these kind of times. And I promise you, the more you can eat, that novelty of food, that drive to eat so much food disappears, and you can live your life. And that's what I'm doing right now, and that is proof that this shit works. It's crazy and it feels so wrong at the time, but I guarantee you, you will be over this. But the quicker you can recover and hold your hands up and just eat, the quicker you will be recovered. But please don't think that this is a problem from you. Don't think this is a personal problem, that you've got no willpower and that you can't do anything. It's got nothing to do with your self-worth whatsoever. It's simply your body trying to help you survive. Please find help if you are really struggling. But know, and take it from me, you can get through this. I promise you. Keep fucking fighting, and I promise you this thing will be a thing of the past. So that's gonna conclude this video, guys. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you want me to talk any more about extreme hunger in a future video, please let me know. Comment down below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out, but also I can help you guys out more. I really want to help as many people as I can with this, because I know, especially extreme hunger, it is a horrendous, horrible time, but it doesn't have to be, and these dark times can get you through and you can recover. I hope you like this video, guys, and let me know in the comments down below what kind of video you would like to see, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!